You tell me one athlete right now has been dominating the game for 16 years straight without a loss. Tell me one. Tell me just one.
My name is Ryan and this is Addy, and welcome back to another edition of Box Talk. It's time for This Week in Boxing. All the news, reviews, hype, stuff that's happened in boxing this week. So let's start with last night's fights. Arthur Abraham versus Paul Smith.
Kind of what we expected the first time round. Abraham looked a lot more tuned in, a lot more dialed in this time. Looked strong, looked fantastic at the weight. Honestly, he walked into the ring. Probably one of the best 168 I've seen him physically. He looked strong, he looked tough. And I think what you said as well, he looked on it from the first round.
Yeah, that's exactly from the first round. Abraham's a notorious slow starter. Within the first 30 seconds, he must start throwing maybe 6, 7, 8 jabs. Like he was actually making the fight from the very beginning. And that was the case of the whole fight.
Yeah.
He was on Smith through the entire fight, non-stop. And when they came to exchanges, there was only one winner.
Yeah. Problem for Smith in that fight was that as much as he ticked every box in terms of what he could do right, he had nothing to deter Abraham's.
Yeah.
Even when Abraham went on the rope and kind of done a little turtled up, it was almost like, come and hit me if you want. But when it was reversed, he landed some very, very nasty shots. Like 10-punch combinations.
Yeah, he was just... There were times we watched the fight here at mine.
Should have been stopped, we kind of suggested.
Yeah, and so it was about 5 of us here, 6 of us here, yeah, and almost going ooh. It was clean shots.
Yeah,
it was clean shots.
Smith came out after and said there was a body shot. I think in round 4 or 5, he said that literally took the wind out of him completely. From then on to around 9, he had nothing. Yeah, and then obviously second wind kicked in, but that's probably where he lost it as well. Yeah. Between those rounds, so it's a shame.
Yeah, it's like I said, it was one of those fights where Smith gets lots of credit. He took a lot of good shots in there, and his stock will go up from that performance, even in a fairly one-sided loss.
It will, but the problem for Smith is you look around and you see Carl Froch not going to fight Smith. You see Andre Ward's got his fight, obviously not going to fight Smith. Miguel Groves rematches aren't going to happen. I mean, you're probably looking at someone like a Rebrasse to get back to European level and then see if he can make a run again. But it's going to be tough because all the belt holders right now beat him.
GGG versus Martin Murray. I'm impressed with GGG.
Yeah, I said yesterday, and I said in a tweet, it is almost like a nightmare where you're running away and the person is walking, but they seem to be catching up with you, and you are going your Usain Bolt's pace.
That reminds me like Halloween 2, Halloween 3, or bloody Friday the 13th.
The way he cuts off the ring. Yeah, I'm not joking. Yeah, it's hard. It's easy to get excited when you see someone because you kind of can't think of other fighters. But I can't think of anyone in the last 20 years maybe that cuts off the ring the way he cuts off it. Yes, the ring was small. Yeah. But he cuts. You can't get away.
You can't get away from him. You can't get away from him.
You need to be a Pernell Whitaker to get away. Honestly.
What I liked about GGG in that fight as well is that his patience. I always mention his patience, but like when he hurts you, he doesn't go crazy and say, "I have to just knock you out." Yeah. He not just courageously goes on his business and keeps hitting you. It's like, if I get you this round, I'll get you next round. If I get you the end, I'm still gonna get you. Yeah. That's literally like the boogeyman. I'm telling you, he's just on you constantly. Yeah. I think Abel Sanchez has made a lot of bold sense about GGG. He can't be beaten. He's this, he's that. And more I watch it, I can't believe Abel Sanchez.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to now start. I mean, yesterday me and you kind of went back and forth a bit, and I was like, because I think they mentioned Murray as being the second best middleweight in the world, and I kind of said, well, but Murray's a definite top 5. Yeah. He put a one-sided beating on a guy that is ranked in the top 5 in his division. Yeah. And he just continues to do it now. There's Cotto out there, there's Quillen, there's Lemieux. There's not a middleweight out there now that will cause this guy problems. Yes. There's not.
One thing I'll say about GGG, which I think is unfair to GGG as well, is that everyone keeps saying, even last night I see on forums, that GGG still ain't fought no one. If you fight all the guys in the top 10 or the top guys in the top 10, you have to give him some sort of credit. Even if you don't like the guy, that's cool. But you have to give the guys fighting his peers. What more can you ask for? You can't make a middleweight to fight him. You got to fight what's there.
Yeah. What is he? Where is he pound for pound?
GGG.
Yeah. A lot of people. Is he up in the top 5?
A lot of people got him in the top 10. Like between.
I've definitely got him in the top 10.
Yeah, between 5 and 10. Yeah. People say about maybe 7, 8. We done our box talk pound for pound list.
I think
6 months ago or so, and we had him about 8 or 9 as well.
Yeah, he's creeping up all the time.
I think that position is good for him in a sense. Whereas he is a pound for pounder, he is fighting his peers, but
he hasn't got that marquee.
He needs that match. But guess what? He just beat the crap out of.
He's not going to get that match, is he?
And sometimes that marquee name is not a very talented fighter. Like again, beating a Chavez. It's just a name, you know what I mean? It doesn't mean you have to be a pound for pound elite. It's just a name that someone says, yeah, that's what it is. Sometimes fans and people and the press like names more than fights.
Quick mention on the Germany card, David Price, 4-1, 6-round knockout. He said he wants to come back now to basically back home and fight in Liverpool again. Is that quite good what's happened? That hiatus, you've had 4 fights over there now, come back and try and rebuild your brand?
He's had the chance to rebuild. He's taking his time. He looks well in his performances, but
still not sure. Are you?
I'm not sure. Yeah,
he's a bit gun shy.
He doesn't. For a guy his size, with his experience, amateur and now pro, and going through losses, he understands the game a little bit. And times when I see him there, thinking, guess what? He could steamroll guys. And it doesn't mean you have to rush guys, but I mean, use that jab, use that right hand, get in there, and like, he seems like he's just comfortable. I'll be scared to see him with a guy who's actually going to put it on him. And that doesn't mean a top 10 guy. I'm just talking about a guy that's just going to say, I'm going to fight back.
Yeah, even someone like
let's start with the big elephant in the room. We all done the video. We've done the video already.
What elephant?
We've done the video already.
What's happened this
Pacquiao Mayweather.
Did that happen this week? You'd have to be a Mars not to know that's happened.
Not going to hit it too much. It's good.
Look, it's good. Let's not rehash kind of what we've done. Like you said, we've done a video. A lot of people are watching that video now. Thank you very much. One thing I will say, and I've seen a lot of tweets, a lot of forums, you've been on the forums as well. A lot of so-called boxing experts are saying, oh, thank you Mayweather for giving us this fight.
Yeah.
Are we not the ones that pay the bills for these fighters?
Exactly.
Are we not the consumer?
Yeah. Sports is backwards. Let's be honest, yeah? We admire athletes for what they do in the ring and everything, but athletes get to where they are through their fans. Yeah. People that support them, buy their merchandise, watch their event, follow them, do everything. That's how you make that. That's how they make their money. When we have to start begging our sporting stars to do things, that's a bad.
When we have to start begging number 1 to fight number 2, then it's a bad.
It's bad.
I mean, come on.
As much as we all go, wow, this is a great this and this is great that, and I'm trying to say, in theory, athletes work for us. Yeah. It sounds rude, it sounds bad, but I don't mean it in a rude way. It's just that that's the way the sport is. Without us supporting you, you don't get to where you want to be.
There you go.
So, fans, we shouldn't beg for the fight.
Yeah, and we shouldn't say thank you when they give it to us.
After 5 years.
About time.
Yeah, after 5-6 years.
On the flip side of that, I can't wait. I'm like a little girl in a sweet shop right now. I can't wait.
Saying that I can't wait either. But no, you said fans and people have their opinions. Flavor Flav had his opinion saying it's about time.
Well, that's a serious opinion. Flavor Flav, you see, boxing connoisseur.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Mr. Clark himself has come out and said, "Oh, please."
Yeah,
come on.
But exactly. Okay, let's go with the news.
Yes, sir.
Let's start with. I'm not gonna start with Haymon because we always start with Haymon.
Yeah.
But let's start with Tyson Fury.
Okay.
John Fury's back in camp. Tyson's dad. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Middle ground, closer to bad.
Yeah, I agree.
Closer to bad. And look, I understand that he trained Fury up until a certain point. Get that. I understand that he's Fury's dad and he's come out. Get that. But Peter Fury's done a fantastic job with Tyson Fury. Not just in his boxing skills, just in his demeanour, just the way he handles himself. And I feel like John Fury's come out and said he's going to be in the corner for the Haymon thing. Too soon for this fight.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. He's a father. He's his father. He's a trainer. He's a good trainer. So he wants to be input into the career of his son, which is a good thing. But you got to look at the history of trainers and fathers, i.e. Roy Jones and his dad, Sugar Shane and his dad,
Eubank Jr. more recent ones.
There you go.
Even Floyd's point it kicks off with his dad.
Exactly, and like it's not that he can't do it, but bit by bit, he's just come out of prison. He's just getting back into certain things. Let those things build up over time and get into the camp bit by bit. You being in the camp and possibly training as well and being in the corner could be a conflict overall psychologically.
One thing I will say,
it takes time.
He looks like one mean motherfucker.
Yeah.
Jeez, imagine at Christmas you try and rob that house. Huey, Tyson, Peter, the brothers, and John.
Yeah.
Well, you ain't coming out alive. And you ain't coming out alive unless you're Van Damme.
Sticking with
Van Damme will get out.
Yeah, something.
Seagal will get out. Steven Seagal.
Steven Seagal will get out.
Yeah, anyway,
with his ponytail.
Yeah.
Sticking with the Fury camp.
And he's drawn on hair. He's lost my. Look, I've lost my hair. And I accept it. Steven Seagal lost his hair like 20 years ago, and he's still drawing on. Oh, sorry guys, go on.
stick with the Fury camp.
Yeah.
In Christian Haymon's main sparring partner is Alexander Ustinov. Yeah. People seem to use Ustinov a lot for sparring for Tyson Fury, and I understanding the size element as in height, but style-wise, it's totally opposite.
Yeah, I think they get. You know, what it is? I still think people confuse Tyson Fury. I don't think it's. I'm not going to blame Christian Haymon, you know, but I think people still look at Tyson Fury and think this is a non-athletic, nearly 6'9" guy. Tyson Fury almost fights like a cruiserweight.
Yeah.
He moves quite well. Yeah. Ustinov moves sloppy and big. I know he's a former kickboxer, but he moves sloppy and big. Plus, Ustinov's about 300 pounds.
Exactly. He's a big guy. Like we've seen him face to face. We've watched him spar. This is not the type of guy you want to be sparring with to get with Tyson Fury.
If anything, Marius Vach's probably better. He moves a bit more light foot, and he's a big man, so that would have been a better option.
He's more technical as well.
Yeah, Ustinov, and I don't know why anyone would pay Ustinov to hit them in the head during sparring either, by the way, because he's a big guy.
He is definitely. Let's go with some Al Haymon news. Now he's got his PBS boxing is now with PBC. Yeah, is now with CBS.
Yeah, there's too many initials going on right now.
With CBS,
NBC, PBC, CBS.
So let's start from the beginning quickly. The big rumors came out that it was going to be on NBC.
Yeah.
Then it was on Spike.
Yeah.
Now it's with ESPN.
Yeah.
Now it's with CBS, which is also part of Showtime. He has taken over cable, domestic TV, every type of TV in America. He owns basically now.
Yeah. It all now. You know when they say a good story comes together?
Yeah.
It all now is making sense why he done this ridiculous for the last 2 years, signed everyone. Yeah. He needed this many fighters to do the shows, and now it all makes sense because he is literally cleaning up. When you think of what we've got over here in terms of Matchroom, just showing it on Sky Sports, one platform.
Exactly.
He's now showing it on, I think, about 7 or 8 platforms, but big platforms.
But what he's done is like with NBC, NBC is not one channel, it's a group of channels.
Yeah.
CBS is not one channel, it's a group of channels. Same thing with ESPN. So it's not just one channel, it's a group of channels where you can show his product. Yeah. It's amazing. Another thing as well, what gets me with that as well is that Dan Rayfield, I read an article this week, he said something like his current deal, this is before the CBS stuff came out, his current deal with NBC and the Spike equates to 83 shows over the next 3 years. If you add in 52 weeks a year, 150 days, that's about a show every 2 weeks, every 2.5 weeks. Yeah. Adding now the CBS side, you're gonna get live boxing consistently.
What I'm a bit fearful of is that I don't think even he has got enough boxers for that. Do you know what I mean? In terms of marquee names, one thing is all good and well. Like obviously, so far we know between March and April we've got marquee names, and that's good. Yeah. These marquee names we know only fight 2-3 times a year max. I don't know if he's got enough marquee names to keep the general public interested on all those shows. But I guess what he's
definitely got clientele because again, just reading up on everything, we would say Adam's got maybe 100 clients. Rumor has he has over 160 fighters now.
Yeah, and I guess he'll be signing more. Let's be honest, he's going to be signing more. Look what happened to Santa Cruz recently. Yeah, he's going to be doing aggressive signings, so we know that.
Also within this, obviously with Al Haymon stuff, he's signed a whole bunch of fights coming up as well for this CBS deal, which include Johnny Gonzalez versus Gary Russell, Adonis Stevens versus Sakio Bika.
Stop right there. Stop right there.
I knew you were going to say that.
Right there. Okay, this is what I don't like in boxing. Adonis Stevenson
fighting a career super middleweight.
Is fighting a career super middleweight. And a career super middleweight that at best is alright.
And it's coming off a loss.
Coming off a loss. I don't even think Sakio Bika's... You know, Sakio Bika's muscle bound, but he's not big, you know, by the way. Do you know what I mean? He's muscle bound. He's
very
not
tight.
Big, very tight. Yeah. You know what I mean? Very kind of wiry. Wasn't there anyone in the top 10 that Adonis Stevenson could fight? Was there no one available?
To tell you what, in my honest opinion, you could blame Al. I'm not going to blame Al. I'm blaming Adonis Stevenson because he's been ducking everyone for the past 6-7 months and I've had enough of him, honestly and truly. Carrying on my list, what we had as well, Jamil Charlo versus Vance Martinson as well.
Good fight.
Very good fight. Bertebet versus Gabriel Campillo.
Good fight again.
From Farah versus Burns. Sorry, from Farah versus Chavez. Yeah. And Burns versus Figueroa.
Yeah.
Burns you can't argue these quality cards and these quality fights.
Burns versus Figueroa, we talked about.
Don't particularly like the fight.
Don't like the fight at all. It's at 140 as well. Don't like that for Ricky Burns. It's away from home. Don't like that for Ricky Burns. For Figueroa's on this tear right now. Don't like that for Ricky Burns. It's a tough ask. And I don't like using the word a cash out fight, a fight to earn your last paycheck, but it almost seems like
a cash out fight. But if you look at these whole cards collectively, say we got 15 fights in the next couple months from the Al Haymon scene, you got 2 fights that we don't like. 2 out of 15 is not really bad.
That's not bad at all. I'm not complaining. I'll watch them. They're free. Avril Derry Matthews has been rescheduled for April sometime. I don't know what card it's going to be.
18th of April.
So that'll probably headline a card up in Liverpool. Well done.
Yeah, well done.
In securing that.
I definitely think it's well done. I like that fight. And I'm still got my fingers crossed for Dirty Derry's going to pull it off.
Yeah, it's a good fight. Lee Purdy has retired. Due to an eye injury. Most people know Lee Purdy from the Devin Alexander fight. Put up a decent showing in there. Alexander was just too good on that. But he had weight issues as well. Remember, I think he was something like they said he was cycling in the steam room beforehand. So the fact that even went, I think 5 or 6 rounds, credit to him.
I think Lee Purdy's done the right thing. A lot of fighters get injured and try to cover it up and try to hide it. There's always some sort of doctor that's going to sign you on if you really wanted to fight, and he didn't. That's the right thing to do. Your health comes first. You're a young guy. You got family. You got kids. You got everything going for you. You've had a good career. Call it a day. Applause.
BKB, Rosado versus Stevens. Everyone know that BKB thing. I ain't gonna lie, not a huge fan of it. It almost tells people that you can't jab, you can't use your skills. You just have to stand there and trade. But if it's being shown, it's being shown. The good thing about this BKB match between Rosado and Stevens is that there's going to be a chip in the glove.
What?
Yeah, kind of plaster Paris Margarita type thing. But no, joke. There's a chip in the glove, and that chip will, when someone lands, it will tell you the punch power and the velocity of the punch. So it'll be live on the screen. As soon as someone lands, it will say this, done this. There's so much mystery about this guy's a big puncher, and no one really knows. Do you know what I mean? Only when someone goes down, it'd be so good to finally know how hard someone does hit.
I'm not gonna lie, I like that a lot.
I love it.
Most people have put something on the knuckles, most probably, so the glove goes over it. And I like that a lot. I think that's very interesting. I'm actually gonna watch BKB live. I'll find the stream of it somewhere and watch that live. I want to see how that plays out. That is quite interesting.
Yeah.
Sticking with stuff on that type of level, the Nevada Athletic Commission has stated they're going to start trialing electronic scoring. So basically,
don't like it.
The judges have this device where they could do it, but the fans could do it as well. Yeah? So fans could do it as well. Now it doesn't affect the overall scorecard of the fight because the judges still do the normal thing, but ultimately they're testing because they said it'll be more efficient. So there's no errors with the score sheets and calculating.
What do you mean by what does that mean?
So it's some sort of like an iPad or something where they actually put the scorings on electronically.
So they don't just watch the fight and say that was a 10-9 round, 10-9. They actually what? Someone punches, boom.
Yeah,
jab, boom.
No, not that CompuBox. Like they score it on a computer screen, and fans can have a hand device as well in their hands like this, and they go, oh yeah, he won that round, he won that round, he won that round, and then they're gonna compare the scores of the judges and the fans as well to try and get like a balance to see what people think of the fights. But also they're saying that it fixes faults so people don't miscalculate scoring, adding 9 and 10 together.
Wow, Jesus. I mean, the most basic of maths.
Yeah.
I know what you mean though, because in the heat of the moment and people get carried away, it'd be tough on the fans because I mean look, say Miguel Cotter's fighting in Madison Square Garden, anyone's going to give the other guy a round?
Yeah.
Any fan going to give the other guy a round? Really? Unless he puts Miguel Cotto down?
But when they said it's going to fix the errors of scoring, I thought my 5-year-old son could add up a whole bunch of 9 and 10s together. I mean, it's not that hard.
Yeah, and it's still subjective, isn't it? Regardless. Yeah. That's the thing with scoring. It's not that they can't add up, it's just subjectiveness.
Yeah.
No scorecard's ever the same. Hearn has said that Marquez versus Brook possibly in play for summer. Brook obviously comes through against Jojo Dan. That's his name.
I like that one. I suspected something along those lines. When Marquez was over here, Eddie Hearn was not going to let that slide. Marquez is a Hall of Famer, a good name, but is an older fighter. Right. Let's not forget he's in his 40s now. Kell Brooks is the current champion.
In his 40s, looks his 30s.
Yeah, but exactly. It's one of those fights there. There's no way Hearn didn't say, look, let's have a friendly dinner. Took us to a nice restaurant, sat down, and thrown out a very nice package for him to come over here.
Yeah, and I think it's a fight that he needs badly, Brook.
Yeah.
Brook, after this Dan fight, he needs, I can't say his name, I'm not going to say Jojo, Dan, whatever. But after that, he needs a marquee name. Yeah. And why not? Because I think he should be able to beat Marquez. Very, very quick ones. Darrell, who said he wouldn't travel to the country to fight the girl, is now saying he will travel. I think boxers need to look at what generates their money. Yeah, exactly. And I think Darrell's looked at it and someone said, okay, if the girl comes over here, it's going to generate you that much. Yeah. You go to the UK with the money they're offering, you get that much.
Exactly.
And now he's trying to say he will come over and fight. So right at the beginning of the video, we mentioned GGG. A possible opponent for him, David Lemieux. Yeah. See, right now, he's the one that's going to fight Hassan Mdam for the IBF middleweight title. What do you think?
Very good fight. I like David Lemieux. And the fight with him and Dad is actually a legit 50-50 fight. I'm actually happy that fight was signed by, because Lemieux just recently signed with Golden Boy, and it weren't took up by one of our Haymon's guys, because I was sure that Danny Jacobs was going to try and get the title shot. Yeah. So I think it's really good for the sport. Good fight. Entertaining fight. Yeah,
Hassan, they both come off good victories.
Yeah.
Lemieux, Rosado, and damn Stevens.
Yeah.
It's weird how Rosado and Stevens are now fighting as well. But yeah, I look forward to that fight as well. Anything else, sir?
No, I'm good to go.
Alright, there you go, guys. So that's This Week in Boxing. Look, let's be honest, everything's been overshadowed. We have tried to give you some news, but everything's been overshadowed by Mayweather, Pacquiao. Can you blame us? But still, a lot of news has happened. That fight goes down May 2nd. Itching already.
Yeah, can't wait. Can't wait.
I mean, can we just fast forward time, please?
You guys know I wasn't really looking forward to it, but that's a smile.
There you go, guys. The most expensive fight in boxing history. I'm gonna rehash one figure for you. MGM Grand sold out in 15 minutes. I'm not talking about the seats, I'm talking about the hotel. The hotel was sold out, and the fight they said could make $500 million. Alright, so that's This Week in Boxing, guys. Email us. Oh, don't forget, we're interviewing Barry Hunt tomorrow. This is going to go out tonight. So anyone's got any questions you want us to ask the big man himself, Mr. Chairman of Matchroom, could be darts related, snooker related, anything, get us your email us your thoughts at
boxtalk@hotmail.co.uk, on Twitter at boxtalkuk, and on Instagram at boxtalk_1.
There you go, guys. Thanks for watching another edition of This Week in Boxing. Cheers.